Now let's have a question from the audience.
Hi, Chani. I am a big fan and have been listening to your podcast and using your app, I think, for a couple of years now. So thank you for all that you do. And my question is, what does it mean if you happen to have like two kind of personal planets at the exact same degree in your chart? I have my sun and my Venus at 27 degrees and Leo in the 10th house, and then have my midheaven even 2 degrees away at 25.
Okay, this is a really important setup. First of all, your question is what happens if we have two personal planets at the same degree? It means that there's a conjunction between them and they act together. Their meanings are fused. So the planets involved are really important. If it's Mercury and Mars, say, then your Mercury is going to be talking in the style of Mars, no matter what the sign is. Mercury is going to translate whatever planet it's close to. But any planet, especially a personal planet that is with the sun, especially in the same degree, then that is a special condition because that is called a cazimi. Different astrologers have different ranges of degrees or minutes that the two can be apart. But if they're in the same degree, I will say that they are in a cazimi. So Venus in your chart is in a really special condition because in Leo, the sun is Venus's ruler, and the sun being in Leo, it's its own ruler. So that's a lot of star power. And because Venus is receiving the heat and the light and the warmth and this like energetic infusion from such a strong and superpowered sun, and then you're telling me it's in the 10th house and right next to your midheaven? Like, please tell me you're an artist. Please tell me you're a performer. Please tell me you're a relationship coach. Please tell me you're doing something that is Venusian in the style of the performer, or something that is shiny, or something that is gold, or something that is Leo-esque out in the world, because it's the midheaven. It's the brightest point in the chart. It's the 10th house. It's the place of career or public life. And so you need to show up in the world and shine and make things beautiful and be celebrated, Leo, for your artistic nature, or for your way of creating harmony, or for the ways in which you serve women or femmes or queer folks, or for the ways in which you uphold justice, because it's all Venusian themes. But again, it's in Leo. It's in the style of Leo. The sun is there. The sun is infusing Venus with all of its eminence. And so there's something here that's saying, like, this is golden. This is super powered. And Venus loves to be pleasing, and the sun loves to lead. Those are two kind of different ways of moving in the world. The sun is like quite bold in and of itself, especially when it's in Leo. It's charming in Leo. It's adorable in Leo. And Venus, again, wants to make sure everybody's being taken care of, wants to make sure everybody's good, everyone's okay, everyone's taken care of, everyone's like, happy. So there's a way in which you might have to combine those needs, but you need to lead, and you need to be celebrated for the beauty or the justice or the harmony or the art or the culture that you create. And I think if you don't do that, it won't be very fulfilling for you. I think that those are main keys and main themes for you to live out. When you have two planets together, they merge in terms of how they do their job. So you have to look at the significations of the planets. A planet with the sun is a very special condition, especially when it's exact in the same degree, the same exact degree as the sun. That's a really important piece of information. If it's a couple degrees away from the sun, then we could say that it's, having a little harder of a time because it's not visible and it's under the sun's beams, or it's kind of being burned in a way. So everything means something slightly different, but the same degree is a special condition. And we have to think anything beside the sun, if the sun is traveling with another planet, and the sun travels with Mercury and Venus quite a lot. Like that's a normal thing to have them together. But again, having them at the same degree is special. And when the sun is in its own sign, it means any other planet that's with it, any other planet in Leo, if you have the sun in Leo, is being amplified and helped out because the sun is in its own place. So it receives a lot of help because the sun is really resourced. So it depends on how resourced both planets are, but they fuse the meanings together. And so what are their jobs? Like when you have Saturn and Mars together, that's tough. It means you're made of tough stuff. You have a lot of grit in this area of your chart, but that area of life is also going to be challenging. It's a both and kind of situation. Okay, thank you so much for that question. Really helpful for me to know what the things are that everyone's kind of like, wait, what about this? What if I have that? What if I see this in somebody else's chart?